So, good evening. I want to show you something. A week or so ago, I don't know, I was saying what plans we'd like to make for my bed here along outside my door. And this morning, the end of the bed was right here, and we've made 5 more feet. And the reason I'm doing this is because when I get to be an old lady, this is where I'll do most of my little gardening. I just love this little bed. And it's only 32 inches across, which is not very wide, but I can do the whole thing. See, I can reach all the way over there. But when I plant the beans, I have to walk on the other side to pick them. And I can do that, but if it was just like pulling up carrots or something like that, I could just stand on this one side. So that's what we did. And to do that, we had a bed in there that was just straggly messy. And we took it apart. And actually, Tom and I need help when we do this. So we don't do it all by ourselves because we're old. We have done it all by ourselves because we put in all of these others without help. But now we're to the age where it's nice to have help. So the next thing we are going to do, as you can see down here, we're going to put pavers along in here. So tomorrow that gets worked on. We're trying to decide 2 paver wide, 3 paver wide. And we're going to start with 2. We'll probably add 3 in some places. I wouldn't be surprised if we go more. But that's the plan for right now. And I think the bench over there will be moved back further. And then the other thing, because this bed didn't take all of the blocks from that bed, we had enough where, if I don't trip here, we made this bed longer. So where did it start? I think this bed finished about here. This is new. So this bed now is almost 3 feet bigger. Well, at least 32 inches bigger. And I was just thinking a minute ago, I sure miss the goats and the sheep because they really make a garden. But my chickens, we'll put chicken stuff in here from their house and we'll beef it up with that. And then I'll be able to plant some fall crops, I hope. But not yet, it's a little too hot. But you know what? Tonight is just wonderful out here. The air, it's about 80, but a week ago at 7 o'clock it was 95. So this is just delightful. And we're supposed to have a few days like this and then zip back up to the hot days again. But I am just thrilled with my new kitchen bed. And my pineapple sage will come out. It should be blooming by this time. It just keeps growing and it keeps green. That means the ground is too rich when it does that. Okay, maybe it won't ever flower this year. We got to put it where the ground is not so rich. Okay, and then I want to tell you a little story. It has nothing to do with what we did. And you can see the summer has taken a toll. My beans are looking a little bit tired, but I still am picking. Anyway, I want to tell you because I've been watching Hardiness Approach and their piggies, Porky, Porky, and Porky. And they are so cute. And have you noticed they are growing? They're just beautiful pigs, if pigs can be called beautiful. But it reminds me when I was a girl, we had pigs. In fact, Tom and I had pigs. And I'm going to put you here. I can remember one of our kids running in and saying, "Mama, the pig smiled at me." And I bet the pigs smile at Jim. Okay, I'm a little worse for wear. It's the end of a busy day. Anyway, these pigs that we had when I was a girl, in a way, they were embarrassing because they got out. And one day, they got out and went about 4 or 5 miles from home before we realized what had happened. And someone phoned us and said, "Are these your pigs?" Probably 3 or 4 miles. Seemed like 5 miles. But do you know how hard it is to get a pig home when it's that far away? And there's all these temptations of gardens along the way. Oh, wow. And I'm oh, that air feels good. Oh, that feels good. But you better shut it. Tom had the door open. Anyway, I don't think that's really what ended our pigs. I think it was when the grain and the feed prices went up. But in my little book, Significant Others, I write some stories about the pigs. Yeah, Maggie, what's going on? And I don't know how old I was, but I wasn't very old. And one of the men we had really knew a lot about pigs, and so he was our pig man. And my father had bought a pig. I'm sure she was pregnant when my dad bought her. And the plan was we were going to have her and she would raise a lot of little piglets for us to eat and to sell. And it sounded like such a good plan. And it was so exciting. I can remember the night that she went to Faro, I think it's Faro, anyway, to give birth. And my brother and I went down and we got to watch. And you know what? She had one piggy, and that was it. My dad was so disgusted that he had paid that much money and we had one pig. But I thought it was such pigs are, little pigs, they've got to be about the cutest little babies there are. And so anyway, she had this one pig, and James fed the pig very good. That's probably why she only had one pig. Probably he overfed her. But I went down with him one day when he was feeding the mother and the son, and by then the boy is a wiener pig, so he's getting older, and that particular bunch of garbage from the kitchen had a lot of, well, maybe not a lot, but it had a big watermelon rind in it. And the pigs began, mother and son, to fight over who would get the pig. Well, the little one could go down under, and he grabbed it away from his mother, and he took it, and she was heavier than him and knocked the air out of him, and she got it back. And when he got his air back, he went very cautiously, and he grabbed it again, and he turned around to eat it, and as he did, the mother pig bit off its tail. And that little pig went through the pig wire. He got through it. He wasn't able to get back the other way, but the pain of having his tail bit off, he shot through that fence, and we got him back in. And when he got back in, he went to his little house and kept his eye on his mother and didn't turn around. And then when my dad found out what happened, that sealed the mother sow's doom. And we had a butchering day. And I can still remember that day. And to me, it was exciting. I wanted to see it all, except I didn't want to see him really shoot the pig. And it was explained to me that the pig wouldn't feel anything, but I didn't want to see that part. But the other part, I wanted to see. I wanted to be a part of it. So when they dunked it down into the scalding pot and raised it back up and were shaving off the hair, I got to be a part of that and do it. And as you shave it off, she just turned into this pink, beautiful white skin. And then that night late, my mother was frying up the cracklings, and I can remember eating them, and I can remember thinking how strange it was that we had an alive pig, but afterwards we had meat, and we had hams, and we had bacon. And I was thankful for all of those things. And I can't remember much about eating or ham or pork or the roast, but I can remember the bacon and how good it was. And some of the last good bacon I've ever eaten. There were a few times in our early married life where we got some really good, they used to call them belly squares, but the processed bacon now is a far cry from what it used to be. Anyway, that's my piggy stories, and I'm glad that was in my past, and I hope I didn't bore you too much, but I wanted to show you what we accomplished outside, and I guess wanted to talk about piggies. So, and thank you for listening, and have a good evening. I hope it's nice and cool where you are. It's really nice out. We've got the windows open. So, good night now.